There was a time when you could open the hood of any Chevy truck, any Corvette, even the U-Haul moving your neighbor across town, and see the same thing. Not a plastic engine cover hiding secrets, not a maze of turbos and intercoolers, just a V8. An honest, simple, bulletproof V8 that mechanics could rebuild in their sleep and owners could trust for 300,000 miles. This is the LS engine. The small block that wasn't small. The engine that powered everything from million-dollar supercars to rental trucks. And in 2020, Chevy killed it. Not because it broke, not because people stopped buying it. They killed it because they thought they knew better. They were wrong. Chevy had a problem. The small block V8, the engine that built America, was aging. Push rods, 2 valves. Technology from the 1950s trying to meet emission standards from the 1990s. Ford had just launched the modular engine. Chrysler had the Magnum. GM needed something new, but they couldn't abandon what made the small block legendary: simplicity. So they cheated. They kept the push rods, they kept the 2 valves, they kept the basic architecture that made the small block the most produced engine in history. But they modernized everything else. Aluminum heads where iron used to be. 6-bolt main caps holding the crankshaft like it was a race engine. Coil-on plug ignition that actually worked in the rain. The LS1 debuted in the Corvette with 345 horsepower. Respectable. But that wasn't the point. The point was what happened when you opened the hood. You saw a V8. Just a V8. No turbo plumbing, no supercharger belts, no variable valve timing computers waiting to fail. Just 8 cylinders, 2 valves each, and the confidence that this thing would outlive the car around it. The magic wasn't in the Corvette. The magic was in what happened next. Chevy did something unprecedented. They built a modular engine family that scaled from 5.3 liters to 7 liters using the same basic architecture. The LM7 in the Silverado, the LS2 in the GTO, the LS6 in the ZR6, the LQ9 in the Escalade, the LS7 in the ZR1. Different displacements, different intakes, different camshafts, but the same bell housing pattern, the same motor mounts, the same DNA. You could pull an LS from a junkyard Silverado for $600, swap the camshaft, add better heads, and make 600 horsepower. You could drop that same engine into a Miata, a BMW, a Datsun. The LS became the universal donor, the Honda Civic of V8s. The engine that made swap meets possible and engine builders rich. Fleet managers loved it because the 5.3 would run for 200,000 miles with nothing but oil changes. Hot rodders loved it because the aluminum block weighed less than a 4-cylinder. Drag racers loved it because you could double the horsepower on stock internals. U-Haul put LS engines in their moving trucks. Chevy put them in their police cars. The Coast Guard put them in their boats. When Hurricane Katrina hit, the LS engines in the rescue trucks didn't quit. When the economy crashed in 2008, the LS engines in the work trucks kept starting at 5 below zero. While Ford's modular engines needed timing chains replaced at 100,000 miles, and Chrysler's HEMAs dropped valve seats, the LS just kept going. Chevy had accidentally created the perfect engine, simple enough for a shade tree mechanic, strong enough for a race car, reliable enough for a taxi, and they built it for 2 decades without changing the formula. But perfection has an expiration date when the government gets involved. By 2014, the LS was old, not broken, not outdated in any way that mattered to the people driving them, but old in the way that scared executives in boardrooms. The EPA wanted better fuel economy. California wanted lower emissions. The LS could do many things, but it couldn't defy physics. Pushrod engines, even perfect ones, have limits, so Chevy made a decision they would kill the LS. They would replace it with the LT1, a direct injected variable valve timing, complicated mess of an engine that made more power on paper but lost the soul of what made the LS great. Then they replaced that with the L86 and the L84, each one adding more computers, more sensors, more failure points. The new engines made 400 horsepower, but they also made mechanics cry. To change the spark plugs on a modern Chevy truck, you have to remove the wheel liners. The LS had the plugs on top, right there, waiting for you. The betrayal wasn't just mechanical, it was philosophical. The LS represented the idea that a V8 didn't need to apologize for being a V8. It didn't need turbos to feel fast. It didn't need cylinder deactivation to save gas. It just needed to be built right. The new engines are faster, they're more efficient, they're also disposable. When a modern LT engine fails at 150,000 miles, you don't rebuild it, you replace it. The computers are too complex, the parts are too integrated. The aluminum blocks aren't designed for overbores. Chevy took an engine that could live forever and replaced it with engines designed to last exactly as long as the warranty. Today, the LS is a ghost haunting junkyards. You can still find them in Silverados with 300,000 miles, burning a little oil, running a little rough, but still pulling trailers up mountains. You can find them in drift cars, in sand rails, in airboats, in the Pikes Peak hill climb. The aftermarket for LS parts is $1 billion industry. Chevy wishes they could kill that too, but they can't, because every time someone swaps a junkyard LS into a project car, they're proving that Chevy made a mistake, that the engine they abandoned was better than the engines they're selling now. The LS wasn't perfect, it had oil consumption issues in early models, the piston rings could stick, the water pumps failed every 100,000 miles like clockwork, but you could fix it, with hand tools, in your driveway, for cheap. That was the contract. Chevy built an engine that respected the working class, and the working class rewarded Chevy with 2 decades of loyalty. Then Chevy broke the contract. They decided that simplicity was the enemy, that owner serviceability was a bug, not a feature, that an engine should be a sealed appliance, not a mechanical companion. In 2020, the last LS engine rolled off the line in New York. There was no press release, no retrospective, no thank you to the millions of truck owners who trusted that engine with their livelihoods. Just silence. And the sound of turbochargers spooling up in the new generation of Silverados, making power with computers instead of displacement, efficiency instead of reliability. The LS era ended not with a bang, but with a check engine light. If you own an LS powered vehicle, keep it. Don't sell it to the used car market. Don't trade it for the new shiny truck with the touchscreen and the 4-cylinder turbo. You have something they don't make anymore. Something they can't make anymore. The last honest V8, and when that engine finally dies, if it ever does, you can rebuild it. Because Chevy, for all their mistakes, made one thing simple: how to fix what they got right. That is the legacy of the LS. Not the horsepower, not the fuel economy. The fact that it was yours, really yours, in a way that modern engines never will be.